NBC4's John Caddy's Klimac live at a museum in Riverside where you can board a flight on a World War II plane. John, it looks like that's about what you're about to do here. Show us, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, good morning, guys. This is the C-53 Sky Trooper. This plane, 80 years ago today, flew over Normandy, released right out this window the paratroopers from the United States military. And I want to bring you inside so you can get a feel for what it was like. And inside here, they've got some folks dressed up like the paratroopers, sitting in their seats the way they would have been doing on this day 80 years ago. We have Chris Clark with us here once again to kind of talk to us about the history of this plane. But first, I want to focus on these paratroopers, because this really gives us the view of what it was like in those moments.
Exactly. What you're inside is basically just a bare bones plane, simple seats. They carried fully equipped about 18 paratroopers, overburdened with gear and equipment. And at that time, it was dark. They left very late, twilight basically, to be over France after midnight. So they were going to fly over in total darkness, drop in darkness, land in darkness.
I'm bringing some of that archival footage to give people that visual of exactly how it all went down.
Yes, and when they were jumping, of course, in most cases they were being shot at. And you can't shoot back. You're just hoping to get on the ground and do what you have to do. Unfortunately, because of the confusion, most of the planes were dropping their troops in areas that were not the designated drop zones. And so they would land, they would gather their stuff, try to get their forces together, and then try to find out where they were, and then head towards their actual objective.
I mean, Chris, kind of show us here, if we could, as we come back live, to look at this right here. This is kind of like as they're preparing to get off, they're kind of grabbing a hold of this and walking through. How that works?
Actually, this is called the static line. They would hook their parachute to this, because instead of just jumping out of the plane and manually pulling the ripcord, they had a static line that unraveled, and at a certain distance away from the plane, it opened the chute.
It just kind of did. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then trailing outside the door, you had all these ribbons from those static lines.
Wow. And then just out this specific door. This plane, by the way, flew over Normandy 5 years ago for the 75th anniversary. This thing is still in operation, and you can also yourself take a ride in. I want to share with you that information. If you go online to this website, you can go in, you can sign up, and you can be a part of this. They're starting those flights at 10 o'clock this morning. Also going to do it over the weekend as well. So you can get in here, you can see what we're seeing, you can smell what we're smelling, you can potentially feel what these men were feeling, the nerves, perhaps the excitement, the
raw fear.
The raw fear, yeah.
Of the unknown.
Exactly. That's part of this living history that you can take a part in here at the Riverside Municipal Airport. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
And John, now that you've been able to get inside the aircraft, how would you describe? How does it feel to be in there?
It's to be honest with you, it's a little creepy, because we know what happened on this day 80 years ago, and to think about how young these men were, kind of gives you chills as you stand here and look around. And I mean, these seats aren't comfortable seats. You don't expect to sit there very long, but for some of these men who were doing just that 80 years ago today, this was their first time in combat, and some of them unfortunately did not make it home.
Such a special experience that you can have out there in Riverside on such an important day, John. Thank you so much for sharing.